emergency vessel 4.
I like this. I like that she vanishes. Well, for one thing, it plays with the theme of the game, the fact that she gets turned off and stops existing. And the other thing is, it makes sure you're alone. I was really worried that she was going to be your buddy throughout the game. And I think that's a huge mistake in this kind of game. I don't want company in a game trying to be ominous and giving you lots of time to talk. And it would just create even more plot holes. Like, hey, we've got nothing to do but walk along this the bottom of the ocean here. Why don't you bring me entirely up to speed on every single thing that's happened? Like, why would Simon ever continue to be ignorant about anything if she was always available? So she needed to vanish.
From Catherine's perspective, this is a really short game. I might even be interested in an edit that cuts out everything but the parts with Catherine.
That's an interesting idea. That's really... is the game even 15 minutes long for her? I would love that.
I'd say it's a good, 20, 30 minutes.
I want to do that now. That is such an interesting
No, it's
idea.
probably longer than that because, there are segments where you leave her plugged into a computer for a really long time while you wander around and look at, shoes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's one of my least favorite sections of the game. Is one where she's plugged in downstairs and you're dicking around upstairs or whatever. So next time we meet up with her, ask her if that electric cars thing ever panned out or how well that worked.
Oh, it's the Slendermans. Hey, Slendermans, where'd you go? Now I know why Campster's not here. Yeah, these are probably the most legitimately scary monsters in the game, and this segment is probably the only segment of the game that I felt was amnesia-esque scary.
So on a scale from 1 to 10, evil monsters inside the facility, 0. Evil fish, 50.
I would say the evil human monsters are kind of scary. The evil robot monsters not so much.
Yeah,
the problem with the human monsters is they just use they're around for way too long. Oh, this is a ladder, right?
Well, the great thing about barnacles is they're very comfortable to accidentally slam your head up against while jumping around an aquatic environment.
Here's another question, interesting question. Can Simon actually feel anything, or is he just imagining that he's feeling things?
He can only feel things when he's elbow deep in the WoW, Josh. That's the only time he's really alive.
This is the only time I feel like myself.
He has to be able to feel something, because otherwise, walking around with a numb body would be incredibly difficult. He would be falling over, he'd have trouble climbing ladders.
I guess.
So he has to be able to feel. Now, can he feel temperature? Can he feel hot and cold? Does he feel them the way a human would feel them, or are they muted so that, he put your hand in boiling water and it feels like warm water? Or is there an upper limit, he feels temperatures the way a human would, but it tops out at 110 degrees or whenever it starts getting uncomfortable for people. There are a lot of different ways you could calibrate that.
Man, listen to Simon's heartbeat.
Yes, the heart that he has in his chest.
They
that is beating the blood that he has.
I still think it's dopey. I still think it's patronizing. How about that?
Well, yeah. I think it fits if, Simon can't quite psychologically wrap his head around the fact that he's not a human anymore or in a human body, and I like the idea that, the brain scan in the computer is kind of filling some of that in.
Is Simon capable of feeling scared without the ability to release stress hormones? Is it simulating stress hormones? Is it simulating adrenaline?
We're talking about brain scans that are pretending to be brains. You gotta have some level of simulation of that.
Right, so it's going to simulate the release of adrenaline, which makes you panicky and unable to handle emergencies effectively. Like, why would you do that
Yeah,
to
but-
robots?
But when
You're not gonna-
but Seamus, you didn't realize it. When adrenaline is pumping through your body, it makes your muscles. It means
Yeah.
that your lungs pump in.
Yeah.
Endorphins mean that you feel less pain.
Yeah. Spider-Man, what are you doing?
Falling all the way down to the bottom.
Damn it, Josh!
I also
So
like
that'd
that
be
you
an
cannot
interest-
swim in this game.
Yeah, because I'm on board with that. I mean, you are a diving suit
Sure.
filled with, equipment. Who knows how much you weigh? You're not going to be buoyant. You don't have any air in
Well,
your
it's
lungs
revealed
that
what you
don't
are,
have.
like the exact physical makeup of you, which is another thing that I have like a question about. Is like if Simon can feel sensation that is legitimate sensation, how? But we'll get to that later.
Do you know what else would be your sense of perception? Unless this body happens to be the exact same dimensions as Simon Jarrett, which the odds against that are pretty long, that means he's now in a body that's probably a couple inches taller or shorter, or has a slightly longer, shorter reach than what he's used to. So that should have him like constantly banging his hand against things or tripping
fuck?
over his own feet. What was that?
All right.
That was a loading screen? I don't know. The blocker moved.
Yeah, I saw that. That
Oh
was weird.
shit, Funyuns! Gotta get on those.
Wait, you saw Funyuns?
No.
All over the walls.
Being sarcastic. I thought I saw Funyuns, but that was actually just existential dread and ennui.
Oh. I can see how you'd get those two confused. They look very
It's
similar.
not so much a Funyun as an ennui. Yun.
I don't even know.
As a what?
So, this is one of the part. Is this the part where there's a robot that chases you around in here?
Yeah, it's Slenderman.
Yeah, I remember
Teleports. If you
disliking-
look
this
at
is-
it, you're fucked. Oh, it's a ribcage.
I remember
Can
really
use this.
disliking this section. Like I was nervous until the monster showed up, and then I was super annoyed. And the monster,
Yeah.
like, it's easy to get pinned, and then you basically have to just let it kill you to
Yeah.
respawn or whatever.
Well, apparently it actually
Yeah, this
doesn't
isn't
do
a-
anything if you're not looking at it.
Right.
It
I
turns
turned
out-
my back, and it came in, and it stood behind me, and I okay, I'll wait for it
That
to
is
leave.
not the way to deal with the monster, incidentally.
Yeah. So
Have
it
a
turns out
ribcage.
that there's a fine line between an adversary and a griefer, and this is definitely
Yeah.
a griefer.
So if I just do this...
But I had my back to the room, and it walked in and then just stayed in the room, and it was just standing there in the way of the door. So I
Yeah.
backed into it, and I'm like rubbing up against it, like, come on, let me through. And I couldn't get through the door, I couldn't leave, and so I had to like look directly at it to let it kill me, so it would piss off and let me get on with the game. And that was too weird and abstract to be. It kind of ruined the fear, and it was just really annoying and inconvenient, and wasted my time. And it made no sense.
Alright, where's our escape shuttle? Hint, move the mouse. That's literally text right from Amnesia. Move the mouse in circles while holding the wheel. Ah, can't climb ladders, can you? Mr. Slenderman teleports everywhere. That's another interesting point. Apparently the WoW invented teleportation? I need some WoW sphincters around here somewhere, guys. Is there one in here? No. What's this? Another identical ribcage.
Wow. It's collecting them here. Or maybe it's the same one. Maybe this is, it took it, it was like, what are you doing with that rib cage?
Give it back! That's
Where are
it.
my rib cages.
Alright, so...
Huh? What? Oh, you made it. This is much better.
Let's see if
I
we
wonder if
can't
that
get this
hull
moving.
what was her not realizing she was in a different ship.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Safety
like
lock.
just
You're
think,
welcome to
you
vessel
just
release. Are you
like blink
kidding?
and
How
suddenly
much
you're
more
somewhere
emergency could this ship
completely
be in? It's on
different.
the bottom of the sea.
That would actually
Yep.
be super annoying and
Take a look at the engine
disorienting.
room and see if you can figure it out. Maybe there's an override.
Like
or
when you
something.
wake up from being asleep, you're aware that time has passed. Even if you've been passed out drunk, you have this slow return to consciousness and you're aware that there's been a break in the flow of time. Your short-term memory is basically empty. It would be very different like this, where you just, slam cut from one continuity to the next.
I've actually experienced that twice.
Something is stabilizing
Have you ever
the
been
ship.
under general anesthesia?
We need to let it know this is an emergency.
Yes.
Well, to
Few
me
times.
anyway, going under general anesthesia, like, count backwards from 10. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7. Wake up in the post-op recovery room. No
Weird.
sense that time has progressed whatsoever. I've
been under.
It was like I was teleported.
I've been under 3 times, and every time when I woke up, I felt like it had been 1,000 years. Like I felt like a very long time had passed, and I didn't even remember how didn't even remember going into the operating room, except for the very last time when I made a point of memorizing as much as I could. Maybe this is how they do it. Sometimes they give you morphine before they give you the general anesthetic, and that creates some pretty big memory gaps. Like it's
That's possible.
As a teenager, I went to get my wisdom teeth removed. That's the only time I've been under any kind of anesthesia. And the time I had never had alcohol, and I still have not ever had any kind of drug. So that was really my first experience with that sort of thing. And here's my recollection is, they gas me. I say, I feel like I'm going to faint. They said, well, you're not going to faint because you're lying down. And I said, oh, it's not physiologically possible? And they said, did you gas him yet? I thought to myself, this feels pretty good. Then I thought to myself, should they have started yet? Then I thought to myself, it still feels pretty good, though. I thought people said that, like, when you're high, you get a sense of paranoia. Then I thought, why haven't they started yet? Shit, this is gonna be the rest of my life. Oh my god! And the next thing I knew, I'm sitting on a bench outside and somebody's asked me a question. And the next thing I know, I'm at home climbing the stairs to the bed that I'm going to lie in for the next several days.
Wow. I woke up during a procedure once.
Ouch.
That was exciting.
Were
most of
you
the
like
time,
just totally numbed? Did you just like wake up and go high, or did you feel it?
I was. They stuck stuff down my esophagus, so there was no cutting involved. But it was really uncomfortable and weird and scary.
From
to
what
wake
I
up
have
suddenly.
heard, if you wake up in the middle of a traumatic procedure, the anesthesia they gives you wipes out your memory of waking up during the traumatic procedure.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Maybe we've all woken up.
I remember waking up. I remember somebody saying, "Don't fight it. Don't fight it." And you got to run. This run was really annoying because you don't know which way to go unless you've memorized the layout, and you're like, "Well, where am I supposed to go?" I didn't know this was gonna happen. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, because he chases you at a good speed. Like there is not time for you to work out where you need to go.
Well, one would imagine someone who can teleport would not need to chase. But okay.
Right. And it's really annoying, and I hated it. I had to do this like 4 or 5 times, and it stopped being scary, and it was just annoying and dumb and boring.
Okay, I'm in. Then let's get the hell out of here. It's taking so long.
I woke up during the procedure, and I began trying to expel the stuff they crammed down my esophagus. And I remember, I'd have no pictures. I suppose my eyes were closed. But I remember the nurses shouting, "Don't fight it, don't fight it." And then they dosed me with something, and I went back to sleep. But I remembered that when I woke up. So that's my horror story, and I'll bet you that will creep out one person out there. And you thought this game wouldn't be scary. Can you seriously not bunny hop around this thing? This is actually hard to watch.
How do you even know what direction we're going in?
Don't worry,
I incidentally find it really funny that we
Thought I was done for back
couldn't
there.
launch the escape pod because of safety lockouts and had to blow up the ship.
I mean, how did you
Yeah.
get on the ship?
Are you talking about the black tentacles in the engine room? I've seen them before. and
So
I'm
we're
sorry,
gonna
what
cut
are they?
here,
They're
or
a
pretty soon, right?
manifestation of a malfunctioning
Yeah.
station-wide artificial intelligence called the WOW.
We're what?
Station wide?
Basically, when this wraps up and we save, we're gonna cut.
No, it's not like that.
Oh.
The AI isn't a persona. It doesn't feel
He's,
or
he's
think
talking
like
about the
we do.
WoW.
It's
Yeah,
like,
I've seen those
this
tentacle
one
things.
is
She's like, yeah, it's a
cancer.
station-wide artificial intelligence. I feel like Simon should answer,
Looks like your
oh,
sabotage
that
was
thing, yeah,
better
I
than
think we're kind
What?
of dating.
It seems pretty enemy. I mean, it came on to me, but I'm digging it.